many threads that have gone into this talk. Firstly, Tu B'Shvat coming, and I've got all these texts coming in. And I'm using today cards from Rachel Pollack's tarot deck, Shining Tribe, because as I was considering trees of Tu B'Shvat and Moses' staff, it just resonated with her deck. So I will get into that later. And also, due to the nature of Yitro converting to Judaism, I'm dedicating this to all the people who have befriended Jews, who love Jews, and who were born into bodies that were not Jewish, but realized that they belonged to our tribe and came, and they beautify our tradition, just as Yitro did. Yitro had 7 names, and one of them means add. The rabbis say because he deserved an extra parsha for all of his good deeds, and also the judges and the judicial system that he told Moses, his son-in-law. He said, you're working too hard. You're gonna have compassion. What's the word? Anyway, you're gonna burn out. You gotta designate. A good leader designates. So the thing that, of course, we get the Decalogue in this parsha, but there's nothing in it that, we've got the name Yitro. So that was the thing I focused on for this teaching. So he has 7 names, and the Zohar said that the 10 Commandments could not be given until Yitro converted. And elsewhere I read that they were all converts because they didn't have the 10 Commandments until they did. And they received the Torah at Mount Sinai. And every day we have to convert. We have to renew our commitment and our love and trust in God. So the staff. This is where the trees come in. I mean, where's the staff, right? It comes from a tree, and you think of sticks, and little kids are always using sticks. They have magical powers, right? They're magic wands. Conductors use them for batons. So where did Moses' staff come from? So the story is that it came from the Garden of Eden. It was Adam's staff, and that it was given to Enoch, then Noah, and through the line, and it came to Yosef. And after Yosef died, of course, they went into his household and they took the staff. And Yitro was one of Pharaoh's advisors, and he was a great sorcerer, and he knew of all the traditions of all of the religions. And he was very, very knowledgeable and steeped in all those traditions, all the gods, all the idols, all the powers. He sees this staff and he knows that it's important because the staff has all these letters written, has Yud He Vav He, and it has the first letter of each of the 10 tribes inscribed in this staff. And he goes, oh, he takes it, puts it under his whatever, but everybody had a staff back then, so it wasn't so unusual. So he goes back to Midian and he plants it in the ground, and just like a King Arthur legend, nobody could take it out. Oh, they can't take it out until Moses, the story flees, he goes to Midian, And he just pulls it out like nothing. So then Yitro knows, and also Yitro knew Moses from when he was a baby. He's the one who said, "Don't worry, Pharaoh. We're going to have a test for him. We'll have 2 bowls, one with gold, one with coals." And Gabriel pushed baby Moses' hand out of the way and puts it in the coal. He burns his hand. So anyway, he knows him from all the way back then. He was the one who devised that test. So when Yitro sees that Moses is person who could pull it out so easy, he knows he's the redeemer of the Hebrew slaves, and he gives Tzipporah to him to be a wife. Now the parsha opens up where he's heard about all these great things. He heard about the freedom from slavery and the opening of the sea, and he's like, whoa, it's like the pizza box that says, "You've tried the rest, try the best." So he realizes Moses is on to something. I got to follow him. So that's how he comes. And then he brings his daughter and the 2 kids, because Moses had to separate from Zipporah for a while because he's always talking to God and was very busy with business. And then Yitro helps him. So that is the backstory. So we have kind of a George Lucas moment here where we have to have the prequel to understand. And so then we get the 10 Commandments. So here is a few things. Here's Rachel's card, the Hermit. And here you see he's got a staff. And this reminds me, I hope it's clear, this reminds me of Moses having to be by himself and going up to Mount Sinai to meet with God. And he's entering the door of the mystery. So that's one thing. And I also look forward to people's responses and what they want to say about these cards after I show you. Then I see Moses here as the magician. Notice he's got a staff and he deals with all of the elements. Oh, that's clear. Doesn't look so clear. Now, in addition to the cards that she created, she did a lot of artistic just paintings and ideas. And this I thought was really interesting. It's the card of the tree of knowledge and life together. So she's got the energy of the snakes. Her concept of snakes was energy and the Kundalini energy. So there's that one. Now, the way the tarot is structured, I want to go back a little bit, is you have the Magician and the Hermit are from the major arcana. Those are the major issues that we go through in life, the stages. Then there's the minor cards, which are the more details of life. And the minor cards are separated into 4 suits, 4 elements. Rachel revisioned it. So instead of cups, it's rivers. Instead of swords, it's birds. Instead of pentacles, it's stones. And instead of wands, it's trees. And the court cards are not king, queen, knight, and page. And I'll start from the lower to the higher, but place, knower, gift, and speaker. And these attributions deeply resonated in Moses for me. So I do a note here. The place is the concrete place, rather than just an abstract idea. And you think of Moses on Mount Sinai, right? Getting the stones. Then there's the knower, really feeling the experience of that element fully. So I think of this, like all of this energy of knowledge and life that brought the Decalogue. And then the gift, one who enters the realm of spirit. And then the speaker, one who fully experiencing and then having that gift from all the work is able to speak with authority. And that's just so Moses. So I was really excited to read all that from her book, and she explains it in much greater depth than I just gave it. But I just wanted to give you an overview so you could relate to it more fully. And I'd love to hear what you have to say about these cards. And if you have a question about the cards or you want me to refer it, I'll put the card back up after I'm done showing you. So here we have the place of trees. And we have the knower of trees, which is so energetic. You know, once you come to a place, you really know it. You feel it. And she is it. And then the gift of trees, what you take away from the experience. And I don't know if you can see that between the mouths of the snakes is a golden nugget. So that's true wisdom shining forth. And then when you really, really, really have had the experience, and this is her kind of take on the Eitz Chaim, the tree of the Sfirot and the 12 tribes. This is, you know, just her interpretation. But the top glowing round part, that's like Moses just really, really, you know, fully integrating the wisdom and his ability to speak to everyone. So there you have it. And I'd love your feedback. Let me see if I can. Okay, Joni.
Yeah, the first one I was curious about was actually the first card you picked up. It looks like the staff the very, very earliest group. The depiction looks like a stick figure that has a hook for a face. So it looks as though this figure itself is both a person and a staff. It's an earlier, the very first card you picked up.
I think it was the hermit.
Oh, the hermit. I'm sorry. Let me see where it is. Where'd it go?
Yeah, so it seems as though it conflates a snake and a staff all as one. And I'm wondering that if that is supposed to be a figuration of Moses, and why
no. This is the beautiful thing about tarot is you can lay on your experience on the tarot, and you're talking to it. So, you know, this card doesn't know my experience right now, but I'm going, oh, I bring my experience to it, and I'm projecting my experience onto it, or my thoughts. So she just did this, I don't know, 40 years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't get to bring this to her. You know, when I came up with it, I said, oh man, Rachel, what do you think? You know,
So you made the drawings based on your knowledge of Rachel's ideas, right? But
Yeah,
the
I mean,
drawings are yours.
when you have a reading, when you have a tarot reading, you're bringing your life to the cards. I mean, I happen to know the author of this deck, but I could pick up any deck and say, oh, here's Moses. You know,
What
like
I'm asking though is, did she make those drawings?
she
Or
made drawings. She made the drawings. So she made them how she wanted to make them. So, and I think it's cool that there's this big tree. So he's
turtle? There's a turtle on the bottom too, which is Native American, I believe, or actually the native wisdoms go all the way down to South America. The turtle is, it's on the back, the world is on the back of a turtle.
right, right. But this you could say is a remnant from the Nile. You know, maybe it was
Yeah,
a
it does.
turtle, maybe there was a turtle in the Nile who gave Moses a safe passage. We don't know. You know, like you can have fun with it.
Yeah, okay. I see. I also see it looks as though it's both an interior and an exterior because it looks as though the tree is in a mound of grass, but then the image on the left side looks like a door and the
Right, right.
wall.
To
Wall.
guard it to different level of consciousness.
It's pretty freaky. It's really got my mind traveling, which is a great thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the
So
figure
let's
that's just
see,
below
1,
the
2,
tree,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Are there, wait a minute, 9. Oh, yeah. So
is that a menorah tree?
there's 9 branches on
Yeah,
the tree because
like a
the
Hanukkah.
yeah, you could say that that Moses that the hermit is the 9th card. It's
Okay.
major 9.
The hermit.
Yeah, the hermit in most tarot decks is 9. This is her version of the hermit. She used ancient traditions, Native American, um, Aboriginal culture, and African culture to that informed her designs, and also Judaism is you know permeates, and there's a lot of reference to. Well, this is her own reshaping of the spherotic tree,
Mm-hmm.
and this is you know the enlightenment that gives the power of speech. And she even refers to the 12 tribes around. So there's so many stories that you can tell from these cards.
Probably every culture would be able to tell their own story, or even every religion.
Yeah, and there are many tarot decks that are either druidic or they're you know based on different myths. There's thousands of tarot decks with you know, but they many of them follow this same pattern. Then there's other takes on it, but there are many decks that follow the Rider Waite, the ones that are pretty ubiquitous in our culture. But Rachel revisioned it. So instead of the judgment card, for example, which is very Christian, she revisioned it as the awakening of just everybody coming to consciousness. Does anybody else want to say anything about the cards or see them or?
Well, they certainly expand my awareness of life, and that Rachel had such a talent for just working outside the going beyond and helps, and are just now, beyond the box.
And you could see like this is could be the burning bush.
Yeah.
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 This experience. I asked her, I said, so what's this about? She goes, I don't know, I just put it there.
I have the Shining Tribe book. Is that the same?
This is
That's
the this is the new edition
It's a
that came out posthumously. It's just the cards are done better. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. It's just done. They rescanned them, and with technology they could get the colors more vivid. And she did edit her book.
Oh, look what I found. I did find it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And
So
that popped right up. That must be important for me today.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And the other one that seems to be important is the Speaker of Stones.
Yeah, what did the 10 Commandments have to say to us?
Right. Oh, what fell out seems to be a plague card too. There's frog.
The 10, that's the 10 of what is
Seven
that?
of Stones.
7, what did you say? 7 of stones?
Yeah, that's what it says, but there's this frog at the bottom. So
Yeah, that's like birth, that flexibility. It's very much like there's a goddess. If you read the book,
goddess pose. Yeah.
the goddess of opening up to allow birth to come through, and that really is the crossing of the sea, the splitting of the sea, and then we were born.
And even looks like there are the two mounds on either side, and the sun, sort of a sun figure that it seems to be heading toward.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been writing about this, and kind of that image of what we step into and then where we arrive. I feel as though I haven't given enough thought, or we don't talk much about that arrival place. Miriam goes up with her timbrels and dances there, but I this time when I was meditating on it, it felt like it was a rise, like not just a flat shore, but more of a rise. I always see it as almost a cliff that they get to, and then from there look down upon the seas collapsing again on the chariots. So this
Okay.
reminds me of that.
All right, well, let's get back to the Parsha. It's getting
Yeah.
kind of, anybody else have anything they want to say? Karen, you usually have like tarot and have insights.
Yeah, I mean, just really they are a screen that we reflects wherever we are and what's happening with us. And that's part of the beauty of an intuitive tool like that, is the what comes up for us when we see those images and our response to it.
One person said that the tarot is like a dream standing still.
Wow.
Like a snapshot of a dream in a way. Like that's what made me think of that, is the Polaroid version of the dream.
And when we have a dream, everybody has their idea about what it means.
That's right.
So that's why the tarot is so beautiful. It takes concepts and makes them concrete. And every time we look at it, we can see something different in it.
Which is like Torah, that turn it all things.
Yeah.
The
And
tarot is another intuitive tool for that.
Yeah, like this card, right? I mean, I've loved this card because it's so alive.
Active.
And then to see it as Moses, that that he's internalized the power of the staff, and he's just bursting with energy, and he needed a lot of energy to get up to Mount Sinai and receive the 10 Commandments. So there's this sense of, being alone, but also being energized. I didn't have a whole lot of resonance with the place card. And I'll be perfectly honest, this card came up in a very important reading in my life, with Rachel, like, I don't know, 30 years ago or something. So I'm kind of stuck there, because cards, the other thing about these cards, any cards, is the power of accretion. So you have a very powerful reading, and a card signifies something. And then every time you see it, you're like, oh yeah, and that reading when, and this happened. So I just thought it was an interesting way. I had such a strong resonance, and I so wish that Rachel was here to elaborate, because she could have really just poured forth even more. And Susan also has such a wonderful take on the tarot, and we visited the show at Dutchess Community College just a couple of months ago. So I'm sorry that Susan didn't make it, but I'm glad we recorded it. I didn't think we would, but perhaps we can send it to her, and she'll have some reflections. So thanks, everybody.
Avigayil, I feel like we should say a little, just a little blessing for Rachel. How long has she been